What's up, roller coaster gamers? Welcome to a different type of video today. This time I'm going to be doing a top 10 video. I haven't done the top 10 video since I think it was a while ago. It was my top 10 most annoying characters in Ultimate Custom Night. And so we're going to be doing another top 10 video for probably like the biggest game on my channel, which is Five Nights at Freddy's. This top 10 will be my top 10 favorite Five Nights at Freddy's jump scares. So there's a few factors I'm putting into this. One, how often I've gotten these jump scares. Okay? How scary they are. Sorry. The build up to them. How to deal with this character. And stuff like that doesn't really so yeah, you can see the factors I'm going to be putting into this and when I say how to deal with the characters, like the mechanic that you have to do, and then it makes the jump scare even more surprising when it happens. So that's what I mean by that. I'm not good at explaining these things, guys. So we're gonna get started. So let's go. So I know Five Nights at Freddy's 4 has a lot of good jump scares and probably some of the scariest, since you have to listen for breathing at the door, and then since you're having to focus in so much when the jump scare comes, it's like really loud. Well, the unfortunate thing, guys, is Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is the only Five Nights at Freddy's game I have not played. I'm thinking about getting it soon and playing it on my channel, but it is the only Five Nights at Freddy's game I have not played. I've seen videos of it, of course, but since I haven't played it, I'm not going to be including any of the jump scares from this game on this list, because if I played it, I assure you some of these would be on here, okay? So, I'm so sorry, guys, but you will not see any Five Nights at Freddy's 4 jump scares on this list, okay? So, here we go with some honorable mentions that just missed the top 10 for me, okay? So, one of them is FNAF VR Plush Baby. In VR is the Plush Baby minigame where they're like in the room and you're having to use the flashlight to, like, when one appears you have to find it with the flashlight, and if it's there you have to hold it down until it goes away. And that is probably one of the hardest minigames in Help Wanted. And every time it's it's the way the jump scare is set up for me, and the jump scares are really loud. So like when I'm stressing out about getting one, and you hear the voice line, each time you hear a voice line, "Do you want to see the scooping room?" or like 3, 2, 1 or something like that, that means you better find them, or they'll jump scare you. And they're like, if you hear that voice line, you're basically dead unless you can find them really quickly. Now, like if you know, like you hear the voice line, and you're like, and then you can't find him, you know the jump scare's coming, so you're just waiting, and then it comes, and you're still not expecting it, so it can be surprising and stuff. And also, Plush Baby reminds me of like the old Annabelle doll, not the one from the movie, but like the actual Annabelle doll. Kind of reminds me of that, so that's why it's kind of a creepy jump scare. So the next one is Sister Location Funtime Freddy Parts and Service. Now I said Funtime Freddy Parts and Service as in when you're pressing the little buttons on his face and then his face plates opened up. And like the first time that happened, that got me like real good. And also the Funtime Freddy, I'm going to include the other Funtime Freddy jump scare in the breaker room, even though I never got that jump scare, because at that level, that part was pretty easy, so I never got that jump scare from Funtime Freddy. But I've seen a video where it happens, and I actually think it's like when it was a Markiplier video when Markiplier got jump scared by Funtime Freddy that first time he was in the breaker room. I like jumped, so that would be in there too, but I haven't really gotten that one. Then I have FNAF VR Cupcake. So they're on nightmare mode if you're doing a minigame in nightmare mode and you die and you're at the restart screen with the TV in front of you, there's a cupcake on your desk, and if you touch it, it jump scares you the first time. Like after a couple times it gets old, but like the first time it happens, like I'm like, whoa, And I've seen YouTube, there was like a reaction compilation of them. I forgot the channel's name, but it was showing some of them reacting to the little cupcake jump scare. And then FNAF VR plush trap prize. So if you beat any of the mini games, you get oh gosh, I have an itchy nose. If you beat any of the mini games, you get a prize, and you have to wind up this thing, and then it opens up, and almost every time it gives you a prize. But there's a rare chance that you get a plush trap jump scare. And the one that happened to me, I almost threw the VR headset off of my head. That was the scariest jump scare, probably like the scariest jump scare in FNAF VR. But the reason why it's not in the top 10 is because I only got it once, and it's not like it's very rare. Like a lot of people didn't get that jump scare, so I feel like it's not like an official jump scare. It's just so any of them that isn't like an official jump scare in a game where you're actually playing with them, and when they jump scare you, you die. If they're not like that, then they're just gonna be an honorable mention, like the cupcake, Funtime, Freddy in the Parts and Service Room, plush trap, the plush trap, random, with the box thing, and then my other honorable mention is FNAF 1 Freddy running out of power. That was the most common jump scare I got when playing Five Nights at Freddy's 1. It was the first time I played it. This most recent time where I played it, I didn't get that at all because I was much better at with power. And I got through night 1 through 6 first try, and I did 420 mode in only 3 tries. Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is definitely the easiest of the FNAF games that I've played. It's easier than FNAF 2, easier than FNAF 3, easier than Sister Location, easier than Ultimate Custom Night 50-20 mode. I think it's the easiest FNAF game. So, the reason why it's just an honorable mention, the reason why I even mentioned it in the first place is because the setup, the running out of power and him in the doorway doing the music is great. Fantastic. The reason why it's not in the actual top 10 is because I got that happened to me so much that I was so used to it that it didn't even faze me at all because I got it a lot. I used to get that jump scare a lot. That's the main reason why it's just an honorable mention. So now we're moving on to the official top 10. Number 10 for me is FNAF 1 and 2 Golden Freddy. Now this jump scare isn't particularly scary, but the reason why I have this on here is because especially in FNAF 1, Golden Freddy was kind of a secret. And not a lot of people got him. Like when they got him, and that's the main reason, because it's rare. Anything that's rare is kind of cool. And also FNAF 1 putting in 1987 on the custom night and him jump scaring the Golden Freddy jump scare with going that way. Now the reason why I had the FNAF 2 Golden Freddy on here also is because I actually find that jump scare more that jump scare is a lot more common than the FNAF 1 Golden Freddy, but it's also the face coming at you for some reason to me is scarier, is more surprising than a face just appearing on the screen. So the FNAF 1 Golden Freddy is there because of it was like a secret thing that happened, and the FNAF 2 Golden Freddy's on there because it's scarier than the FNAF 1 Golden Freddy's. Okay, so that's why I have that at number 10. And number 9 for me is FNAF VR Baby. So this is the closet minigame on the Night Terrors. So you're in the closet, and when Baby's walking around, and she turns to you, and then when she starts running towards your closet, and then you have to close the closet doors. But you can't, and you have to listen. You have to keep them closed for around 3 or 5, almost 5 seconds, and then open them, and Baby will be in the room, and then she'll come to it again. It's like a repeated cycle. And if you keep the doors closed for too long, then you get a plush baby jump scare, another plush baby jump scare. The plush babies are right next to you. If you keep the door closed for too long, then they jump scare you. But her jump scare, when she just comes in like that, especially I'm not just talking about her jump scare if you don't close the doors. I'm talking about when you close the doors and open them too early, and she's right there, and that crazy like roaring sound plays. That is scarier than the actual jump scare. So that's why I have FNAF VR Baby on here. And number 8 is, to me, is the scariest jump scare in FNAF VR to me. It's a tie between Funtime Freddy and BonBon, both in the same minigame. So it's another Night Terrors minigame. It's the first of the Night Terrors minigames. It's the Funtime Freddy one, where you're at the doors and you're checking for him to see if he's at the doors and stuff. And Funtime Freddy is like so scary in FNAF VR. It's like the scariest minigame in the whole thing. Like when so many times I go to the door and he's just standing in the doorway, and then I get a jump scare, and it's just scary. And then BonBon, like the reason I have him on there is because like he's random, like you can't do anything about it, so it is kind of annoying with BonBon, but it is surprising when you get BonBon's jump scare just randomly when playing that minigame. Now I honestly could put this higher, but I don't know. I guess because it's not as some of the other jump scares that are coming up are more nostalgic jump scares, so that's why some of those are going to be on here. Now I didn't say that. This doesn't necessarily mean they're like the scariest jump scares in this top 10. Like scariness level is a factor in it, but that just because it's one of the scariest jump scares doesn't necessarily mean it's my favorite jump scare. But I probably should have put this one higher, but because it's not as nostalgic of a jump scare as some of these others, it's number 8. Okay, so number 7 is FNAF 2 Mangle, okay? This, in my opinion, is the best jump scare animation in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The reason why it's not higher on the list, there's going to be other Five Nights at Freddy's 2 jump scares coming up, by the way. But the reason why I put this the lowest out of the FNAF 2 jump scares that are on this list is because I never really got this jump scare. The time I got this jump scare is I made Mangle come in. I did it. I had to like Mangle is super easy to deal with anyway, and this jump scare is probably one of the least common you're gonna get because you have to actually let Mangle enter the office, and when Mangle is actually in the office on the ceiling, there's a chance that you won't even get jump scared. There's a chance where when you go into the camera that she may not jump scare you. She probably will eventually, but I never really got this jump scare. Like when actually playing the game, I got this jump scare when actually letting her in the office and doing it on purpose. But the jump scare animation is why she's on this list. The fact that she comes from the ceiling and like goes for your head. Look at the pictures. She's like has her jaws on your head, and this further confirms to me that Mangle is responsible for the bite of 87, and there's other things that make me think that Mangle is responsible for the bite of 87 that I'm not going to get into, but the fact that Mangle goes straight for the front of your head, it's crazy. So let's go to number 6, which is going to be FNAF 2 Withered Bonnie, okay? The reason why this one isn't quite, the animation isn't quite as cool. It's still a cool jump scare animation, but not quite as cool as Mangle's. But the reason why I have it above hers is because this one I got a lot more than hers. So Withered Bonnie, when he works the exact same as Toy Freddy, Withered Freddy, and Withered Chica. Toy Freddy is slightly different in his movement patterns, but he does the same thing that these do. But when they come in the office when you put down the camera and you have to put the mask on as quickly as possible, and if you're too slow with putting the mask on, then they jump scare you. But out of all those which are the ones that do that are Toy Freddy, Withered Chica, and Withered Bonnie. I think Withered Bonnie has the best jump scare animation. It's like he tries to go for a chokehold. He like reaches up and tries to grab your neck. So that's why I have this on here. So now we're going to be going to number 5, which is Funtime Foxy in Search Location. This is my favorite / scariest jump scare in Search the Location because it comes out of nowhere. Like the first time you play Sister Location on the Funtime Foxy part where you're having to go across the room with the flashing thing. Like when I first played it, I was confused on how to deal with it. Now like that part is pretty easy. All you have to do is flash the light, then walk 4 steps. Flash the light, walk 4 steps. And what I do if Funtime Foxy is in front of me, if I can see her, then I don't move at all, and then I keep flashing until I don't see her, and then I keep going 4 steps at a time. But the first few times I was on that part, I didn't really have this right strategy, so I was getting jump scared by her. Not right away. I was just getting like it was at a random time, and she comes out of the darkness and in your face. And it's like it made me jump the most out of all the Sister Location jump scares. So, Sister Location Funtime Foxy's at number 5, and number 4 is FNAF 1 Freddy. Now, this might be number 1 if I got this jump scare a lot more often. There's only been one time I have gotten this jump scare accidentally. Most of the time when I've got this jump scare, it was on purpose. There's only one time I got this jump scare accidentally. It was I was doing some 420 attempts. It wasn't the day that I beat it. It was a different day. I think it was after I beat it. I was playing it to see if I could beat it again, and I accidentally messed up with Freddy where I was going to Foxy to check his progress, but I didn't didn't have the door closed for some reason. I think I closed it and opened it back up when Chica was there, and then when I came back, Freddy had snuck into the office and I wasn't expecting it, and then he jump scared me. But here, this would probably be like the most surprising jump scare like in the game if I had known how to, because when I first played Five Nights at Freddy's 1, I had already seen some videos on it, so I already knew how to deal with Freddy. You have to keep an eye, like before you get to like 420 minute or anything, on the normal nights like night 3 through 6, you have to keep an eye on him and Foxy, so switch from the stage to Foxy, and Freddy and Foxy are basically good there. So I never actually got his jump scare during those nights, even the first time I played Five Nights at Freddy's. But if I could only imagine, because I've seen people react to this jump scare. If I was a first time player, didn't watch any videos on it, and Freddy just did that because I wouldn't know how to deal with him, and I would have gotten this jump scare like on like night 3 if I didn't watch videos before I played Five Nights at Freddy's 1, because I watched videos like long before I actually played Five Nights at Freddy's in 2017. That's when I actually got interested in it and started playing it. But it would be higher if I didn't know about this jump scare ahead of time, okay? So now, number 3 is going to be FNAF 1 Bonnie. I think this is my favorite jump scare from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, okay? Because this one was always, like, random for me. Sorry, something fell. So I think this is how this happened. So this was the first time I was playing Five Nights at Freddy's 1. This wasn't the most common way I died. The most common way I died was from Freddy from running out of power, not the normal Freddy jump scare. But this was probably the second most common death. So what would happen is that, you know, when you're checking the door lights, you have to click it once to turn it on, and then you have to click it again to turn it off, okay? So I think what would happen is that I would go to turn it on, and then if an animatronic shows up at the door while you're in the middle of turning the light on, then they automatically turn it off. So it was either that or they appeared at the door right after I was done checking the light, and for some reason Bonnie did this more than Chica. I didn't really get this from Chica very much, maybe like once or twice, but Bonnie did this quite a few, like every now and then, where he would show up at the door right after I was done checking the light, and I would go in the camera and I would take too long looking at Foxy and Freddy, and then I'd let the camera down and I'd get his jump scare. And every time that happened, I wasn't expecting it, so it made me jump a lot. So that's why it's at number 3, okay? And by the way, So yeah, that's why this is on here. Like it was the one jump scare in Find Us Freddy's one that like I was the most surprised by when it happened because it always happened when I wasn't expecting it. So yeah. Now we're gonna be moving on to number 2. So for Five Nights at Freddy's, this and the next one will both be Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But number 2 is FNAF 2 Withered Foxy. Withered Foxy's jump scare is just really good. Okay, so obviously you know how Withered Foxy works. You shine. If he's in the hallway, you have to like spam the light like this every time you're in the office and you're not in the mask when you're checking the lights and stuff. You don't hold it down to do it. You have to flicker it like that. And I always get paranoid with Withered Foxy when I'm on the camera winding up the music box. I always think he's going to get me, and sometimes he'll get me whenever I'm after I've done the music box and I go in the mask and like it's taking a long time to take the mask off. I'll get his jump scare, and every single time I ever got his jump scare, it made me fly back in my chair because it always happened when I wasn't expecting it. So yeah, that's why Withered Foxy's on here, and he jumps out like from the darkness just at you like that. He just jumped out of nowhere. So like every time it happened, I was not expecting it. So that's like a lot of these jump scares that are on here are ones that either have a good build up to it or happen when I'm least expecting it to happen. So are you ready for number 1? Drum roll. Number 1 favorite jump scare is FNAF 2 Marionette. Okay? How could I not put this on here, guys? This is when I was making this list, I was like, yes, this was the one I was most sure about where its placement would be. How could it not be the FNAF 2 Marionette jump scare? Many things, okay? The music box, okay? I got this jump scare quite a few times, and every time it happened, I still got scared from it. By now I'm used to like all the jump scares in these games, but like every time like I hate the music box would go down because something was happening in the office that was causing me not to be able to wind up the music box, and it's like it's gonna happen, but you still don't know when exactly it's gonna happen because it can after the music box goes down, the Marionette could jump scare you right away, or she could take a long time, and that's one of the reasons why it does that. But it's also the mechanic, the music box itself. The fact they had to wind a music box to keep it from jump scaring you is just like another reason why I have this at number 1. It's just the build up. It's the build up to the jump scare that it makes it number 1 for me. And Marionette's probably one of the creepiest characters in FNAF 2. She's not as creepy as like Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, and Mangle, but it's probably like Puppet's probably like 4th creepiest looking, and it's the creepiest jump scare, the scariest jump scare, because you just see this weird clown or puppet looking face and with a black blank mouth and these eyes just in your face, and it jumps out of nowhere. And if you look in the camera when the music box is down, you can see the Marionette leaving its box, and that's just creepy to me. So that is why FNAF 2 Marionette is number 1. Is my number 1 favorite jump scare, and that'll be it for this video, this top 10 video. So let me know in the comments what y'all's top 10, or even just let me know what your favorite FNAF jump scare is. You can say what your number 1 favorite, a top 5, or a top 10, or whatever. Just let me know what your favorite FNAF jump scares are, and tell me if you agreed with me or not. And so yeah, just know that this is my opinion, and there may be some I forgot about that I reacted like crazy to. Like I don't know, like it's hard to think of some now, but like some other good ones may have been like maybe like entered in FNAF VR, like the when you're doing the vet mini game, and when like you're at that part where you have to push the buttons that line up with the wire, and when that scene is done, entered like there's a cut scene where entered gets you like that, and then the vent closes, and then you go down further. Stuff like that could have been on there. It's hard to think of some of them. Like so yeah, that's gonna be it for this. I will probably make an update on this list. I might make it a top 15 or top 20 jump scares once I play Five Nights at Freddy's 4, because I'm sure many of those would be on here. So I will make an update on this top 10 video after I'm done with Five Nights at Freddy's 4. So hope you enjoyed this video, Roller Coaster Gamers, and I will see you next time. Bye!